This is a Headgum podcast.
Extra.
Hey, so welcome back to the Extraordinarians. We are so happy you're here.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed the theme song sung by us.
Yeah.
It was sung by us, and I don't know if we've even mentioned the record that was in that song.
Yeah, it's
It's not.
supposedly has some of the most guitar notes in any song, but
Yeah.
that is yet to be verified.
We
but,
gotta call the committee.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to call it. But we love talking to extraordinary people because we're inspired, and they're talking about things that we have and may never do. And who knows,
Yeah.
actually, we might do them, but we don't know.
Is there something that you think you have never done in your lifetime that you still will do? It's like, what is a new experience that you think you might have before
I die.
you die?
I guess I think there has to be a desire in there.
Yes.
And I don't have a desire, because when I think about heights, I have no desire to break a height
But
thing.
not even overcoming fear. I'm talking about like go to Tokyo or you know, like I don't know if I have a great answer to that. But
I already know mine. I knew it a long time ago. I have what do they call those 40s?
like a 40
I have a
ounce.
40 ounce thing of beer that I bought when I was 22
Yeah.
Okay.
still. And I promised myself that when I turned 60, I was going to go to the French Riviera and just sit there nude with my saggy tits, and the waves just licking up onto them. And I was going to drink that 40.
I can't tell if this is true.
This is a true story.
I think it is true.
Yes, it's in my
You have a 40
house.
somewhere?
Yeah.
And you were like,
I don't think it's going to taste very good, but
it didn't
Oh, you
taste
want to
good when
drink
you
the
bought
same
it.
40.
yeah, it's the one I still have. I moved with it from New York to LA, back to New
Wow.
York, back to LA. I still have it.
And this obviously is going to be a nude beach, or you want to just
No,
go to,
you're
I
talking
think
about
the French Riviera, everybody can take off their clothes.
Oh, is that a comment? Oh,
Is that
yeah.
not the case anymore? It was like 20
I think you
years
can be
ago.
topless.
Yeah, I'll be topless.
I think
Yeah.
you got a bottomless I think you got it. There's a
Well, I'm
slight.
gonna
It
be
gets a little
bottomless.
messy.
Um,
I'm be topless like you guys.
but that was a goal you said to yourself. Yeah. No, I'm deep into that swim shirt game now.
Oh, yeah.
sure, you gotta wear the rash
Oh,
guard.
yeah, you
Same.
know what I'm
Even
talking
with a tank
about.
top underneath.
Oh, I haven't gone there. Sweetie, have you
Wait,
seen
what?
my swim tank top and my swim shirt? I'm
Why
getting
you
ready to
got
head down to
two?
the
I
beach.
don't, but I can see myself latex on latex.
Yeah.
Just keep those man boobs down.
I wouldn't be mad if that whole bathing singlet thing came back. That would
Oh,
be
the
nice.
Borat?
No, like the 1920s boxer style.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that's an amazing goal you have
Thank
to
you.
do.
This is
Thank
the
you.
first we've heard of this 40 and the
That's-
water licking the saggy.
Yeah, we're
I
breaking
just
news.
bought it in my 20s and I held on to it. And I was like, I know the next time I want to open this is what it's going to be.
Wow.
Wow.
I want to be there for that. That's a goal.
Gross, man.
I guess that is gross.
Mine's
I
a-
want to be painting you with watercolors.
Mine, I think, is a little less exciting. I love boats.
Okay.
I love boats, and I would love to just have all my friends on a really great cruise ship
Oh.
and just like hang out with pals. Because this is what I like about a cruise ship. It feels free.
Yes.
You're not always signing a bill.
Yes.
And I love being on the water.
Great.
I don't typically get sick. My friends might.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot of activity. Like there's dancing. Then there's
Yeah.
always these different restaurants you can go at. Because my thing is, I don't necessarily want to go on the ports and travel around. I just like hanging out with friends and going to dinner and stuff.
Have
Yeah.
you done this?
Well, I did it on the Disney cruise when Loy was little. But
And
that
loved
was
it.
I did like, but that's a
Lot of
kid
stimulus.
experience. It's a lot of kid experience. I like an adult kind of nicer
Mhm.
cruise ship.
Yeah.
That seems like an achievable goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to be there for that too. Maybe
Well,
it could
we'll
be a
see.
cruise to the French Riviera.
We'll see if you make the cut.
Yeah. But
I'm
maybe
out.
we can combine these goals, you know?
Yeah.
What's your goal?
To see
To paint you in the nude. Just
Are you?
sort of settle down.
Do you paint?
Not yet, but that's why it's a goal.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yes.
Please.
This is so luxurious, but I'm taking an art class.
Well,
I have my
well,
first one.
well.
And I had to buy paints and I had to buy canvas, and I'm going to do it once a week.
Is this a private lesson?
No, it's for the community. It's
For
like
the
a community
community. Wow.
offering.
Wow.
Where is this? Oh, actually.
Pasadena at the Armory.
Wow.
Oh, is it a specific like still life?
It's acrylic oil, so we're going to paint shapes, and then we're going to paint fabrics, and then we bring in a picture, and we get to paint that.
And is acrylics?
Or oil, you can pick. I'm picking acrylics because
Yeah.
it's just an easier medium.
Yeah,
Sure, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I would
know
like
that
it
from
if
my
those
rope
classes.
bowls.
What's that?
I know that from my
Oh
rope
yeah,
bowls.
Tony makes rope
Oh.
bowls.
with
Oh,
acrylic
of
paint.
course.
Oh, yeah.
Of
I
course.
haven't done
They're
The
that.
rope
beautiful.
bowls.
Are you still doing them?
I haven't done in a while, but I do love it. I still need to make Kevin one.
What's your
And me.
craft
And
now?
Crying.
Oh no.
No, just kidding. I don't know if I have a craft. I've always actually wanted to paint. That's one of the gifts. When people say like, which gift would you like to have? I always say painting.
Oh,
I would
that's
say-
achievable.
I want to say flying,
Like a pilot or just your body?
like Superman.
Yeah.
Gotta get to work on that. Gotta get to work on that. But speaking of flying, guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of, creating something out of nothing. I don't know.
Word.
Our guest, Mike Pick, is an inventor, and it's so rare
Yeah.
that you get to sort of pick the brain of someone who
Good callback.
can make something out of nothing, and he has chosen a pretty
Specific.
goal. He's made the world's biggest
Yes, ma'am.
Nerf gun,
Yeah.
and but beyond that, is a very fascinating just maker and
Yeah. And I think after this, Mike Pick has his pick of whatever he wants to do in life.
I wonder if Nerf gun sponsored him at all. I forgot.
He
to
didn't
ask.
mention it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have said something.
But he's like in the engineer mind. We get into like hovercrafts and
yeah.
it's
put on your smart heads.
put on your smart heads because it is stuff that maybe Matt could do, but Kristen and I were a little
Yeah, no, I can do it.
confused.
I'm glad that that
I
wouldn't
was
be a problem.
right there with Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we were creating together.
Okay, I thought
Where were you? Because
I
we
remember you-
invented 2 or 3 things
Yeah.
together.
Oh wow. I
Yeah.
remember you looking at me and going, "Do you know what's going on?" And I said, "No."
Yeah, I knew what was going on. But enjoy this conversation and see if you can tell if and when Tony and Kristen do or don't know what's going on.
Hello.
Hi.
Another cool Zoom background.
No,
Yeah.
that's his house.
I know that's his house, but that's like a movie light. That's like a
That
movie
looks
stage
like a
light
movie
behind
light.
him.
Lights, camera, action. It's
Tony produced a movie, so he knows these
I know.
things.
Let's talk about movies.
Yeah.
but it's Mike. Is it you for Michael or Mike or
Oh, Mike's fine.
Mike Pick, right?
Yes, Mike
Great.
Pick.
And where are you
Thanks for
calling?
having me.
Where are you calling from?
Right now I'm in downtown LA.
Oh,
Just
Where
Where are you guys
yeah.
from right now?
We're in Los Angeles as well. We're in an
Silver Lake.
undisclosed area.
thank you.
Yeah.
Top security.
Yeah. We're so excited to welcome Mike Pick
Mike
Mike.
to
Pick.
Extraordinarians. He is an extraordinary person.
He's
Mike,
an extraordinarian.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Mike, I think
Push
you'll
that.
do a better job of talking us through what you have done that's record breaking.
Yeah.
But you're a bit of an engineer, a maker, a builder. Am I
A creator.
a creator, not only of content but of things?
Yeah.
Tell us about
Yes.
that.
Of course. Well, thank you for having me on the show first. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
So the first world record I received was for the world's largest Nerf gun. And thank you. That
amazing.
actually is a 12 and a half foot supersized Nerf gun that took
seen
me
it.
about 6 months to make.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Was there a record before that for and by how many feet did you break
Yes.
it? Talk us through that.
Sure. So there was a record before me. I believe it was around 6 feet, and it was for a Nerf pistol design,
Okay.
a much smaller design.
Yeah.
And I could have technically beat it by like a couple inches, but that felt kind of cheap to me. So I wanted to double it. So the first record was for 6 feet. And I believe mine is 12 and a half feet. So more than double the original record.
And what is the legal definition of a Nerf gun? What does it have to do?
I just want to apologize up front that Matt does not know that.
So basically a Nerf gun just shoots a foam projectile, like a toy projectile for kids.
Exactly.
And it's very safe. It's mostly made for kids and adults. And the version I made is somewhat lethal, so it has to be shot like with supervision.
Okay.
But it's very powerful. Yeah, semi-legal.
There it is. We're seeing a picture of it now. And
Whoa.
you on a very cool lawn, by the way.
Very nice lawn.
Oh, thank you.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, so
appreciate it.
how did you get inspired by that? Like, that's a very specific record.
How do you land in that endeavor?
Yeah.
Where does it all start for Mike Pat?
So it started when I was working as an engineer for Lockheed Martin, like an aerospace company.
Oh, okay.
And I started making YouTube videos, but they weren't very good. They were just like, I was working in my garage in these little projects. And then some of my friends started doing YouTube full time. And that seemed like a lot more fun than my day job as an engineer.
Right.
And so I did a little bit of research. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty good at making things. I just need to figure out like how I could do something that's worthwhile and something that would resonate with people. And I've always kind of been into Guinness. Like I saw the books and I was like, well, if I get a world record, at the very least, like that's somewhat newsworthy. So let me just set my goals on doing that and filming it the best I can, because I know my filming skills aren't going to be great. Maybe if I make something really cool, that will like make up for the first video not being like the best.
Right.
And so that was my thought process. And I worked on it on the weekends. Like I did my full-time day job during the day. And then Saturday and Sunday, I would just try to film and make the Nerf gun.
I want to
Mike,
hear
what's your
about.
day job?
So I was like a computer science, like software engineer. So I was at a desk and I would just, work on a computer during the day. Which,
like Severance?
yeah, exactly. Like you go into a room, there's no windows. They take your cell phone.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Has a part of your brain been taken out, Mike?
No.
Hey, I haven't finished it.
Oh, well, that's in the very. That's
no.
literally in the very beginning.
No, it's not. They have their brain.
Have you seen Severance, Mike?
I saw the first couple episodes. I want to watch more of it though, but it
Hard
kind
to
of
find the
reminds me of
time.
Forget
that.
about it, because apparently they're all lobotomized.
And so you get I assume, a degree in engineering from someplace, and that's how you get a job at Lockheed Martin. People don't realize how much like aerospace, I mean, at least I didn't realize how much aerospace engineering is happening in LA, the biggest Space Force base in the country.
I knew that because when you're driving away from LAX, you look to your right, there's that big
Boeing.
SpaceX, too.
What are they doing in there, Mike? What are they
doing in
building
there?
in there? I want to know. What do
Yeah.
you know? What do you know?
Do you like it?
So there are a few things I can say. I used to work at Skunk Works in Palmdale for a little bit.
Okay. All right.
And
SR-71 Skunk Work project. Famously.
yes, that's where like the intro of Top Gun with the new like experimental aircraft was
Oh,
shot
wait,
over
you
there.
mean the volleyball movie?
Tell me something I don't know.
Exactly.
Kristen's like the shirtless.
Oh, yeah,
movie.
that volleyball movie?
That's why I joined Lockheed, because of that scene.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, really?
So,
No, I think it came out.
so what can you tell us? I want to get to the Nerf gun, but what can you tell us
Yes.
about working in Palmdale, which is a huge Air Force
Oh,
base?
my nephew was stationed there.
Oh, well, we should get him on
I
the show,
bet.
too. But right now we're talking to Mike.
So without getting in trouble with the government, they do a lot of cutting edge research on new programs, and they're basically like read into your program to kind of protect information. So like
Right.
I only know about my little program, but there could be programs happening in parallel to me that I just don't know about to keep everything safe.
Okay. I'm going to ask yes or no questions. It was, well, was it a manned or an unmanned platform that you were working on?
I don't even know what that means.
He's
You
talking
making a
about
So-
drone or you
robot.
making a, yeah.
Oh,
Can you answer that?
I think I can answer. So I was working on an unmanned program.
Okay.
Copy that.
You know what? I'm
Copy
feeling
that.
nervous. Let's just
Yeah,
move
exactly.
to the Nerf gun, Matt.
Oh,
Thank you.
God.
I don't want this literally have to be like an undisclosed location.
I don't want to
I'm
have a
loving every
Pete
second of
Hegseth
that.
situation.
Thank
yeah,
you.
just
I
signal
still
it.
like my family.
But ultimately, it was, as a segue to Nerf, somewhat unrewarding. It wasn't getting you.
Well, not
It wasn't
necessarily.
his passion. He didn't say he didn't like it. He just didn't have time to work on it because he had his job.
Yeah, well, let's let Mike speak.
Okay.
So the job at Lockheed, it was a good job, but I just don't think I like the office environment. Some people love that. Like I have coworkers that have spent 20, 30 years there and love it. But for me, I just hate being stationary and I like to do things that I want to do. So that was a good job. It paid very well, but it just didn't fit me that well long term. So I spent 3 years there before I kind of quit to do YouTube full time.
Okay.
That's fair. Good for you. That's very brave.
Global
to
Hawk.
leave a good paying job.
You working on Global Hawk?
Okay, here we go.
I can't say the exact program.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. But then, you're pivoting away from, and you want to do something a little more physical, active, less
Yeah,
stationary, and you
Yes.
want to break a record. And you're shopping around for records, or you land on Nerf guns pretty quickly. How do you get there?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you land on that?
Sure. So I watch a lot of YouTube, and the person that had the original record, I saw his video, and I was really impressed with the design and how cool it was.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something that was actually fun because I knew this was going to take a long time to make. So I wanted to be like a little bit into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've always been into like, recreational shooting and stuff like that. But YouTube and online platforms don't like that for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So Nerf was kind of the safe way to kind of do that, in a fun way.
Yeah.
So that's why like a lot of my content now is like Nerf related or toy related because everybody can resonate with it. And I kind of enjoy doing that type of content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you take this to parks and kids just lose their minds?
I think, do you take this to parks is the first question.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
So
I would if I was a kid and I saw like that, I mean, it would just be like, what?
I
Let
would
me
say-
pull the trigger.
What
Yeah.
giant left their Nerf gun here?
yeah.
So it's funny you say that because when I started building this, I just didn't realize how heavy and big it would get. So halfway through the build, I was like, I'm going to need help moving this out of my garage because it was like 12 feet long,
And that's where the
250
kids come
pounds.
What,
Yeah,
the kids
that's
come.
where child labor kicks in.
what material is it? Plastic?
So most of it's made from plywood. So the frame has to be structural to support it. So there's actually like 2x4s that go along the inside of the whole design to kind of keep it stable.
I see.
And then the cosmetic pieces, a lot of the intricate pieces are 3D printed because I didn't want to do like the woodworking detail to try to get it to that level of detail.
Right.
Yeah.
But the big pieces, just to save time, are like plywood for the most part. So I'd say 75% plywood and then 25% like 3D printed parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that's
where I
heavy.
had it. That's about where I had
That's
it.
where you had it. Can you break down for our audience? Okay, you have the gun. What is the next step to confirm that the record is broken? Like, who do you contact? What is that process like?
Sure. So once you set a record, and this was the first time I did it, so I was learning as I went, you basically have to contact Guinness and they'll send out like an outline of what you have to abide by to get the record.
Yeah.
And so it's better if you work with them from the start. I kind of did it halfway through the process. So I had some like extra stuff to figure out. But once you get the outline, you basically build it, you send in the pictures. In my case, each record's different. Since this was like a size record, I had a different set of rules where basically I had to design my supersized Nerf gun off of an existing toy currently sold on shelves. So I bought a toy from Target, and then at the end of it, I took
Shout
like
out Target.
references. Shout out Target, they didn't pay me.
Yeah.
And then I took like reference pictures of different aspects of the toy gun with my gun, and then I submitted that along with a. I actually had to hire surveyors to come out and like measure this thing officially.
Wow.
So I had to hire 2 independent surveyors and then a third-party witness not related to me to kind of like confirm it's all legit
That's-
and then send that.
Wow. And so you build the gun, but guess what? You also got to build the ammo.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
And it better be soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of material you using for the ammo? How you sourcing that?
Sure. So the ammo was custom made too. And to kind of give us some weights and make it kind of each round kind of similar, I used like a PVC pipe on the inside of the Nerf dart.
I see.
And I wish I had one here somewhere, but basically how it's structured is there's a PVC pipe inside of the dart. And then the outer side, I used like 2-inch pipe insulation from Home Depot that kind of just like goes
Shout
around
out
the
Home
pipe.
Depot.
Yeah, they need
Shout
the
out
attention.
Depot.
Yeah.
And then the cap is just 3D printed. It kind of fits right onto the PVC cap.
Yeah. So you can't bring this to a park.
Like, could. Depends on how cool the park
This can
is.
be
you know?
dangerous. Yeah.
So funny enough, my friend, he actually works at NASA, Shane Cravens. He helped me load this into a
Shout out
U-Haul truck. Shout out NASA. And so he was in the back of the U-Haul truck, and we actually drove it to a soccer field that we had permission to like shoot a YouTube video on. We kind of didn't tell them what we were doing.
Yeah.
And so we unloaded it, and I don't think people realized it actually shot. I think they just thought it was like a big decoration.
Yeah.
A sculpture.
And so
Sculpture.
we shot it a couple times before anybody said anything because we had a safe background. Like we made sure nobody was around us, and we fired a couple shots. But I'm sure if we didn't like check out the location and get permission, that would be an issue because it is very powerful and it could like hurt somebody.
How far did that dart go?
Oh, I'm trying to think. Like I think a few hundred feet. I'll have to watch the video, but we shot like a miniature dart, and I think it went a few hundred feet according to the video.
What is powering is it a spring? Is it, what are we talking here?
How do you make a gun?
And this is technically a ghost gun, so that's even cooler.
Yeah, technically, I'd probably get arrested if this was in California.
Yeah,
but so basically, have you seen like the giant pumpkin launchers that kind of used compressed air, then a valve to release the air down the barrel? It's kind of like
pumpkin
miniature. Well, it's kind of, so it's powered by compressed air. So I have like a paintball tank in the inside of the gun in like the stock area.
Yeah.
And then I have an air regulator and basically an air release valve that just dumps air down the barrel. So that part wasn't too hard to design. It was hard just to make sure it fit inside the like Nerf enclosure. That was the hardest part of the whole thing.
Right.
Gosh.
I love this. I'm thinking about this is a little bit of a tangent, Mike. So, but come with me to New Zealand for a moment, where I got to visit the Weta workshop, and what they do is they create all of the props, special effects for Lord of the Rings and films like that, and it was so fun. And in one of the rooms, they had a giant sword that they used in the live action Mulan because she was so. They wanted to get a shot of her reflection in the blade of the sword, so they had to build a giant sword. And I guess I'm just wondering, like, it's such an artistic thing that you're doing. You really are a sculptor. And I'm wondering if you wanted to get a job working on one of Tony's movies, maybe sculpting.
Okay. It was a tangent. She wasn't kidding.
Yeah.
No, but like
It's like a prop house.
Like, yeah, I feel like this is a very like specific skill that not a lot of people have, and maybe you could. Have you thought of other ways to use your skills?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be amazing. Like, I don't have a lot of connections. Honestly, like, I was in Alabama when I did this, but I would love to work on bigger projects if anybody needed that.
Right.
Wait, you were in Alabama when you did this? Where in Alabama?
Huntsville?
Huntsville. Yeah, Huntsville.
Oh,
Knew it.
yes.
Why?
Doing some work for
what's-
NASA down there. There's
Space
a huge,
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha. Is
Yeah.
that okay?
Wink, wink. Say less, bro. Gotcha.
So when you when you got that record and the gun was finished, which is probably a huge rush, did you immediately think, okay, what's the next record that I want to break?
Yes. So I kind of in the back of my head had the next couple of videos lined up. So since I took that record, I got 2 more records right after that.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
And so
Biggest
the second
Nerf
one,
wound.
that would have been an easy follow-up.
Largest bruise.
Guinness is like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Wait,
What were the other
ones?
So the second one was a giant Xbox Series X. So basically I took a giant Xbox and like made it bigger.
Okay.
And then,
And it works?
yes. So that
Wow.
one works. And the one we did after that was the world's fastest Nerf gun. And basically it has the fastest rate of fire for a Nerf gun.
Ooh. What is the rate of fire on that bad boy?
So that one is 2,560 darts a minute, I believe.
Hell yeah.
Let me check.
Hell yeah.
Now you're looking
It's
at
like-
something. Are we?
Yeah, what are you looking
Is this
at over
inside
there?
your house?
Are they
Well, I
there?
have the records and it has the details
I
on the
see.
records.
I
So I was
see.
trying to
Oh.
like reference.
Got it.
It's
got it,
not.
got it.
Sorry.
It's not Elon Musk going, shh.
I forgot. I was like, it's something like that.
So, as a kid, how do you get so interested in engineering? How does that
Yeah.
happen?
Were you a
for
big Lego kid?
And are you
Actually,
still?
I did have Legos. Yeah.
Yeah. Tracks.
So, I think growing up, I always liked making stuff. And then this was right around when the first Avenger movie came out with Iron Man, when that first one came out.
Know it well.
Read the book.
And I got super into trying to make the Iron Man suit as like a replica prop.
Oh,
That's what they're
And-
doing at Weta, just so you know.
Okay.
yeah.
And I started doing like, it's basically like paper craft, where you cut off paper, then you fiberglass it. And it's a whole process.
Yeah.
And I learned about like making the helmet and the servos
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
That was like the first project I really got into. And then after that, I went into computer science, university.
Yeah.
And I did like little stuff up until I got to YouTube. And that's when I really just doubled up on everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mike, I am really getting the feeling like you feel like you would go to Comic-Cons and you're the guys that dresses, like you make your suit and you make everybody else's suit. Is that, have you been to those? Or do you do those a lot?
It's very involved sort of fantasy that Tony's putting together.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. I'm into it.
I've got a couple of ideas I'd like for you to make for me.
Yeah.
No, but have
I
you
would
done
like to go. I would like to go. I've never gone.
that?
but
Is
it seems
right up
like
your
a lot of
alley.
fun.
I feel like that is right. I mean, all those like cool weapons and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Iron
Oh,
Man
yeah.
outfit, all that
But
stuff.
his work, I think that's the distinction. You're not making a replica. You're building a working machine.
well, like the
Yes.
mask. Didn't you make an Iron Man mask?
Yeah.
I've made an Iron Man mask, and since I've been doing this, like I've had YouTubers like Mr. Beast and other like channels reach out for like these one-off prop things. So I do like a little bit of that behind the
Nice.
scenes.
Nice.
Yeah.
But that would be fun to do. I'd love to go sometime.
I think you would find a whole community there
Yeah.
that's like doing all that stuff.
I think Mike needs to get a job in the movie industry.
I think he's
building
doing
these props.
fine.
I know he's forget
Forget
great.
the
Oh,
studios.
yeah, you
It's
don't want a
YouTube.
boss. You don't want a boss.
YouTube
Yeah.
is where it's at. So like, how would you describe your relationship to YouTube? Is it really demanding to, get all these views? Is it just this never ending sort of churn, or is it like a rewarding sort of gateless market?
Yeah.
How do you?
It's fun, but also you have to treat it as a business because you are your own boss. You kind of have to keep up on yourself with figuring out like, okay, what is a manageable like schedule for releasing videos? How do I want to like brand myself in the future? I'm not really doing that now, but that's like a long-term plan is once you reach a certain threshold,
Yeah.
you have to kind of treat it like that. So I have a lot of friends that are much bigger than me that I kind of talk to for direction long-term. But for now, I'm just trying to like focus on making good videos.
Yeah.
And then once I get big enough, like move on to phase 2 with trying to like build out the channel more.
Yeah.
And who's like on your team? Who is supporting you? Who is cheering you on?
Besides us.
Yeah.
Besides us.
And who are the haters?
No.
I'm sure I have a lot of haters. I don't really look at comments.
Good.
But so far, it's just me. Like I shoot my videos myself. And for bigger projects like the Nerf gun, my friend Shane or whoever's around
From
me
NASA.
that's close from NASA,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he'll help me. But for the most part, like I'll build and film by myself. But if it's too big, like I'll call in one of my friends in the end to kind of like help shoot something that I need
Yeah.
help with.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's a dream? What would be your another dream thing you want to make that you haven't yet, but you dream about it?
So I would like to make, there's this guy on YouTube, he made a hovercraft and actually like a flying bike type deal.
Whoa!
And it was super sketchy and his was like really dangerous. I don't want to kill myself, but
No.
I think a flying vehicle, I have a couple of designs like way down the road. This is like when I make a lot more money off YouTube.
Yeah.
That would be a cool project.
Mike, just a science
He's
question.
gonna make a plane.
Well, for a hovering thing, what is the physics of that? How do you get it to hover?
And I don't think anybody really knows. So,
Is it
what's your
magic?
best guess? Yeah.
You got a witch?
So the easiest option, because like I just studied computer science, like there's a whole other field for that. The easiest thing to do is basically, have you seen like the quadcopter toys, like the drones, they fly cameras on and stuff?
Yeah.
No.
There's basically like a plug and play computer system that you can supersize. And so a lot of people just use those flight controllers and just buy more powerful motors. And that's what a lot of companies like in China are doing for like the air taxi services, is basically that same system, just like supersized.
An air taxi. That's like Jetson territory.
We're getting there. We've been promised it for a long time. And Mike might get us there.
Yeah.
What
totally.
about magnets, Mike?
Great question.
You know, like just like magnets repulsing each other to hover.
Your thoughts on magnets?
For your
So-
hovercraft.
Pro or con?
You could do that.
Thank
You need
you.
some heavy ones, but I feel like you probably wouldn't be able to go that far unless you had the whole like ground covered in them. But
Dare to
that is
dream.
promising. I've just never messed with that yet.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
fucking cover the ground with it.
Yeah. What? If that's all you got to do, then do it, you know?
Where'd the budget go, magnets?
Yeah. I got a few. You can borrow them. I'll need them back. But, well, fascinating. And I do want to, was it scary to pivot away from the sort of, Lockheed Martin, NASA career track?
Into
They'll
the-
always have you back, though.
Yeah.
There's
you're
not very many
smart.
people
You got to
who can
keep
do
your
this
clearance,
sort
though. You got to keep your clearance.
That's true.
Let's not forget
Yeah.
that.
They still got
This
it
guy's
out.
got
We lost it
clearance.
after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of scary because, that is a really good paying job. It's very stable. A lot of people work hard to get there.
Always
But I
gonna need
also
drones.
felt,
Yeah.
exactly. They always need drones. But I also felt like I just wasn't happy there, and I'd rather like take a risk and not live with regret versus spending 20, 30 years at a job that
Yeah.
was safe.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have kids, didn't have dependents. So it's like, I'm not risking somebody else's future with me. I'm just risking myself. And I felt okay with that. But if I
Right.
had kids and a family, it'd probably be a different story where I had to
Sure.
think about this
Yeah.
more.
Great advertisement to not have a family. Follow your dreams.
But I think so many people are in that position where they're in a job that's not fully rewarding, and they're like, "Oh man," I myself included. Like, what else? What could I be doing? Should I be doing? But somehow you managed to do it.
I think it's important to listen to that inner voice, though, because just like you said, Mike, like just the fact that you were like, okay, I made it here. This is what I thought I wanted. I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then to make this shift, you're kind of set for life with that, with taking care of yourself. Like you're taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a skill set you have that is even, the YouTube world I know is big and it's probably sometimes like the wild, wild west, but you have a skill set that you can always fall back on.
He
you're
doesn't
doing,
need to.
but I'm saying you're doing it now, but if you needed to, like, your skills are incredible,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
We
No, I
don't.
appreciate
They're so
that.
we don't know what they
we don't
are.
really know what they are, but, but you're very smart.
Yeah, you're intimidating, Tony.
Yeah, you're intimidating me.
But
No.
But talk us through that moment in your life where you're like, all right, I'm putting in my notice, or like I'm quitting. Like, was it terrifying, or did it feel great, or what was that like?
It actually felt pretty good because I think I knew leading up to that point that I wanted a way out. And I think I had something happen with the video I posted that started to do a little bit okay. Not even a lot of money, but I was like, okay, I know I can make this work and I don't like it here. And it was kind of like just an epiphany. It was one day, like randomly one day I just walked in, I'm like, put in my notice. I'm like, hey guys, it's been great. This is my 2 weeks. Like, they knew I was doing YouTube because they saw some of my videos on YouTube, just like searching YouTube. I never told anybody at work that I was doing this.
Yeah.
They got their
But-
eyes on you over Lockheed. They know where you're done.
Exactly.
Mike, just to sort of piggyback your vision of the hover vehicle, because those birds that are all over LA that everybody's riding, and the dentists are like, they're getting more business because everyone's crashing them and landing on their faces. What if you took those but then you like put a little seat in them with a seat belt, and then they're hovering like, I don't know, 4 feet above the ground.
Great.
By magnet.
I would love I would love for you to make that.
Yeah. What is
I'm sure we could make it happen.
I know,
Great.
right?
what is the biggest challenge in creating a hovering vehicle? What is
Monday.
Monday? Oh, I thought you said Monday.
Getting up on Mondays.
But when you dream of your hovering vehicle, I don't know if that's what we're calling it, but
That's a hovering vehicle.
Well, what is it, Mike?
it's a
What's it
VTOL,
called? What are you calling it?
vertical takeoff and landing. Am I wrong? bro?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
I
So
think Matt's in the
basically,
CIA and we just don't know.
I'm scared of it.
So basically, my design is kind of like, there's a couple companies doing this right now. Mine was like a different take on it, but it's basically like, the old go-karts where they have like, it's like a rectangular shape. They have the little wheels on them.
Yes,
You kind
of
of drive
course.
it around.
Yeah.
And you guys have probably seen Star Wars where they have like the personal like little fighter crafts,
Yep.
that the Jedi's fly in. And technically, this exists right now. Like, if you have enough money, you can buy motors powerful enough to lift people. They're just expensive.
Yeah.
So
Bypass the
envisioning, like-
motors. Yes.
exactly, the
Nice.
motors. But I was thinking like, really cool carbon fiber design, have some safety features like a parachute system that deploys, if you start to lose altitude. But you could pretty much build a fairly redundant vehicle that you wouldn't really have to, you have to engineer it, but all this stuff exists to make it already. It's just piecing it together. And some companies are doing that. I don't think it's like finished yet, but I know companies are working on that.
Yeah. The question is like, obviously our road systems are very safe. We have street lights. Like, how do you monitor air traffic? Obviously planes do it, but like, that mid-level.
I feel like in my imagination, it's like Back to the Future 2, where they're just hovering a couple feet
Yeah.
off the ground.
Yeah.
That's not solving the traffic jam crisis, though. You're still.
Well, if we're all on if we're all on our hoverboards, then now we have like 7 to 8 like in a row going up and down the street.
You're talking about a hover train like that.
I don't mind that either. I would ride one of those.
Yeah.
Mike,
All
could you
aboard.
make a train that hovers?
Yeah.
That's what's next.
That's possible. The FAA has a lot to do with this being kind of slow to progress because they have a ton of regulations.
Well,
I
didn't
know
we
in
fire
China-
them?
Yeah.
Didn't Musk fire them?
Mike, that problem has been solved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll probably see a lot of new and interesting crafts above our heads then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think in our lifetime or in your lifetime,
Which is longer than ours.
yes,
Amen.
Basically, you look younger than us. But
that you will see someone take a flying vehicle, for a trip that is, 5 miles or less on a regular basis? Do you see that happening?
I think there will be air taxi services the next 10, 20 years. Like we can do it now
crazy.
if the regulations were in line. But I think it's going to start off like a Waymo service where it's like, okay, you're not going to be able to touch where this goes except point A to B.
Mm-hmm.
And then as technology progresses, the range gets wider. You'll probably have more manual controls once you get outside a city. But I think that would be fairly safe where it's like a Waymo device where like, I just want to go to downtown LA and then land here and then walk to wherever I'm going.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think that will be pretty safe in the future.
that's exciting.
Mag-
That's
Like, what do
exciting.
we got to do to get you, I don't know, to run for president of LA transportation?
Well,
I
have
don't think
a
I'm
lot of
qualified for
helipads.
that.
the Extraordinarians is a first start.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to say, Mike, like we're saying, it's so rare to have these skills and to have engineers. I'm also
Mhm.
really proud that you took your brain and you went into engineering and not into Wall Street.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for inventing. And I'm really looking forward to what
Yeah.
you make next.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mike, thank you so much
you.
for being on our show.
Tell us the name of your channel and
Yeah.
where
Tell us where
can
people can find you.
get a better look at this stuff.
Sure. So my YouTube channel is just my full name, Michael Pick. And my Instagram is Casual Engineer. I go by Casual Engineer on TikTok,
Okay.
Instagram, all that stuff.
Oh, that's
Great handle.
very hip. Yes.
Yeah.
Is it casual now? Chapel Roan.
Well, thank you, Mike, so much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you
Fascinating
so much.
conversation. Good luck with everything.
I
Yes.
hope we'll
be
talk
watching.
again. We'll talk
I know, I
again,
wanna hear what you
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Fascinating conversation.
Okay, and
so-
we're back.
We're back.
with Mike. So
Yeah.
rare for people in our world to get up close and personal with a real life engineers.
A casual
that's
one,
always
but-
A casual one. When he taught, there's so much going on in his brain that I just kind of accept, like, yeah, you know how to like hover something. You know,
we're
how
like,
to, like,
can you make a thing that does this?
Like,
It's
he
so, like-
understood my magnets right away.
right away,
Yeah.
and we were laughing at it.
Because we consume so much technology and we have no idea how it works.
I have
you
no
know?
idea how
It
a
is.
computer. Honestly, a computer still feels like magic.
It
AI
is.
feels like magic to me.
I don't know.
Touch screen feels like magic.
Oh,
that's magic.
I am a slave to the new AI world.
Are
Oh,
you using it?
Who knows?
I see, but you're already
They've got me.
enslaved. They've got you.
They've
But are
got
you
me.
asking Chat GPT for
No,
a
I
recipe
don't.
or anything?
Absolutely
Because
not.
people are out there doing that.
I won't talk to Chat GPT after I spent a whole summer striking around Walt Disney Studios.
Kevin, do you use it for anything?
I don't.
People use it for.
I've used it.
You have.
Yeah, I'll ask questions, but I think Siri.
Like what?
Now, I think Siri is pretty much ChatGPT or AI, right?
I guess so. Yeah,
Guys,
that's
can
true.
we talk about Mike?
Sorry, but I wanted to
That
ask
sounds like
him.
a commercial. Let's talk about Mike.
It's fascinating that he worked at the Skunk Works, which is it used to be
Well, you really wanted to go down
in
that path.
Burbank,
You were.
but are you guys? Does that not interest you at all? Am I alone in that?
I'm scared of it.
But that's where they're building cutting edge, aerospace technology.
Well, I just didn't think he wanted. I think he wanted to talk about his Nerf gun.
But I also think
And
he
you're
couldn't
trying to
talk
get
about that
government
stuff.
secrets, and it's
But
like
that's what's fact. How close can we get?
I think Matt's passion is to be a little undercover.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it everybody's?
what do you want to know?
I want to know what he was working on. An unmanned
there-
platform for
so
Lockheed Martin.
Much money.
Oh,
they have
yeah.
they have all of the money.
And it's so much of it is in LA. But anyway.
Yeah, and you do wonder, because the truth is, like, what we're experiencing now, they knew 10 years ago and they were working on it. You do wonder
Yeah.
what that is 10 years from now. Like, is it hovering? Is it Jetsons? Is it all that?
don't
Is
think
it Jetsons? And are we gonna have a robot made? That was the promise that was made to us as well.
Well, they've got the Roomba.
The Roomba.
And what I also didn't say to him that what Nerf guns have made like playing with guns kind of okay, and that they're less hyper real. And there
His was yellow and
Yeah.
orange.
but Tony, I don't know. When I was a child, all I did was play with guns. That was everything.
Yeah. I mean, it was much more, common. I didn't really, I was like, I was like the theater kid in Oklahoma.
Tony was
holding-
scared to flush a toilet, and
Exactly. I'm scared of a toilet. I'm not going to hold a gun.
maybe if you had a gun, the toilet would have been less intimidating.
I used my words.
As weapons.
Yeah.
But I think it's
They hurt worse. That's how girls play.
yeah,
That's true.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's interesting that there's something maybe intrinsic about not just boys, but a lot of boys about wanting to shoot something. And it's interesting that Nerf has sort of uncracked a way to do that without associating it with killing machines.
This is just coming to me as you were saying this, but could it be because your penis just shoots sperm all the time? And you're like, I want to keep shoot your penis shoots piss?
I was
Like you're just like a gun is about the size of your penis is. And so
and
now
Matt-
little boys are like, this shoots. What else can I shoot?
Matt
But I can't
always
touch
makes
my penis.
noises when he
Yeah.
goes to the bathroom.
but I was
I don't know. Is that like a connection?
I think that's
Kevin?
Sure.
it's
It
quite-
is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was before I had kids, I knew this other couple that had like a young son. He was maybe like 3, and they're like, we don't let him play with guns. I was like, okay. And I watched
But
him
we
pick
let him
up.
pee.
He had a watercolor set, with like those like 8 ovals
Yes, yes.
and he picked it up. He aimed it at me. He went pew pew pew. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
But
It's a good point, Kristen.
yeah, there's
definitely-
something.
I mean, I don't
something-
have one, but I've never felt like I wanted to point and shoot.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're always pointing and shooting, like
Yeah.
at least 4, 5, 10
Yeah.
times a day,
It's a daily
Yeah.
occurrence.
And Mike's got the record for the biggest one. Good for
yes,
him.
he does.
12 feet long.
This is what
Nobody's got a bigger one.
I do love about all of our guests, though, is again, it's like it's just something that no one else is thinking of or doing, and he's like doing it on the weekends, and he's so passionate about it, and it's cool, man.
Yeah, it is cool.
People are cool, and I think everyone listening to this podcast, you're cool too.
You're cool too. You're extraordinary.
If you're wondering, am I cool? Guess what? You are.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what's in your garage, and we'll tell you.
We'll be the judge of that.
If it's a 12-foot long Nerf gun, you're cool. With me.
Well, that was fun. Good job, Mike.
Good job, Tony.
Good job, Kristen.
Good job, Matt.
Thank you. Good job, Kevin.
Good night.
That was a Headgum podcast.